Right?
And how do you know he was crucified?
Because history says so. And
Oh,
more
history
important.
says so.
Mm-hmm.
So you believe in the history more
I'm sorry.
than
I'm sorry.
what
I'm sorry.
Well,
God
It's
here,
just the way
tells
you
you.
said, like
yeah.
history is not a valid point.
No, and that's exactly the point that I'm trying to make, human, is that you're already doing what Muslims love to do all the time, right? You act like history is invalid because it's devastating to your point. Now, I understand where you're coming from. I know that you don't like to hear
Yeah,
that.
I understand too.
But that's exactly the point that I'm making. The Quran has no history without the Bible, because Surah 4:157 says that Jesus was not crucified. Here's the problem for you. Jesus' crucifixion was already an established fact in antiquity, not only in the Bible and not only in the hundreds of eyewitnesses that contributed to the accounts
it's
of the
very
Bible.
weird.
No, what's
very
very
weird.
weird is that you're talking while I'm talking. Thank you so much for calling in. First of all, is it okay if we call you Kamara?
Yeah.
All right, thank you, brother. All right, so we have our brother Kamara, who is a Muslim, calling in. The Quran has no history without the Bible. Do you have a counter statement on that, or do you want to just get right into it?
The New Testament, what do you say, come again?
Well, I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Come again, I don't get you. What you say?
He's African, so the accent is a bit
right. Yeah. The Quran has no history without the Bible. So there is I don't know how old the argument is, to be honest with you. It's inconsequential anyway. But my argument is that there is no such thing as conscious edits. There are people who say that the only truth in the Bible is the truth that lines up with the Quran, because the Quran conducts something called conscious edits. Have you ever heard this argument before?
So if you use that with the Old and New Testament, you think it will be right?
I'm sorry, say that again?
If you say that the New Testament copy from the Old Testament, would that be right?
If you say that the New Testament follows from the Old Testament, yes, you would be correct.
No, a copy.
No, it doesn't copy. No, it does not.
Oh, okay. Then that is the same with the Quran too.
What?
That is the same with the Quran. The Quran does not copy from the Bible.
Well, I'm not saying. Well, there's two answers to that, because you're incorrect. The Quran does make attempts at copying from the Bible, and it does appeal to our prophets. It does appeal to the Bible a lot. It even has an entire chapter about Jesus and Mary. So yes, it does. The problem with it is that it makes attempts to copy from the Bible. However, it's simultaneously.
Yes, the New Testament also. The New Testament also. A copy from the Old Testament is the argument that you have.
Okay, so again, I'm not sure why you. So here, repeating a flawed statement isn't eventually going to make it true. So no, the New Testament doesn't copy from the Old Testament. The Old Testament was pointing forward towards the Messiah, and which is why we have a New Testament. So again, stop repeating this. Stop repeating this flawed point about the Old and the New Testament. The respect the prompt, okay, which says the Quran has no history without the Bible. It's very simple. Stop trying to appeal to my Bible. My Bible can't help you. If you're a Muslim, my Bible cannot help you. Stop trying to talk about it. All right. Your Quran has no history without the Bible. Very simple. Do you have any argument? Do you have any argument that can refute what I just said?
Yes.
You there?
I think he's misunderstanding the argument. Should I help him?
Yes, please.
Tamara, just so that you understand, the argument is not so much about copying anything.
Mm-hmm.
And here's where you're making the mistake in comparing the New Testament and the Quran. The New Testament claims that the old scriptures, which would be the Old Testament, are being fulfilled in the gospel. And that's why it appeals to the old scriptures. But what the Quran does is that it actually appeals to the Bible in order to validate itself as revelation to Muhammad. So the Quran's actual goal. So for example, if we look at Surah 1094,
okay,
Allah is telling or via Jibril, I guess, revealing stories about the other old prophets to Muhammad. And he's doing this to effectively let Muhammad know that, oh, this is what has happened to prophets in the past. This is what they had to go through. These are the struggles. This is what they dealt with. You are going through the same thing. That's how you know you're a prophet. So like struggles, being rejected, X, Y, and Z. So those stories and those older figures are being leaned on as means of validating Muhammad's own prophecy. That's what the Quran aims to do when it builds on the narratives that are found in the Bible. The New Testament's not trying to do that. It's actually a witness to the fulfillment of what's happening in the Old Testament. So that's why I'm saying I think you're misunderstanding the argument. We're not saying that the Quran copies from the Bible. The argument is that the Quran needs the Bible for its validating power towards Muhammad.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Does the New Testament need the validation of the Old Testament for its power?
Again, stop going to our Bible. We're not going to do this with you guys today, okay? You are continuously asking questions based in false premises. Your question in and of itself shows that you don't even understand the connection between the Old and the New Testament. So stop appealing to it, okay? I'm not going to let you guys do this today. Respect the prompt one more time, or you can move on, my brother, okay? The Quran has no history without the Bible. The reason we're saying it is because your Quran constantly refers to biblical history. It constantly refers to biblical figures, okay, such as Adam, such as Abraham, such as Jesus. The problem is, in those references, so many of the details are incorrect. And the problem with the Quran is that they blundered so many times, Muhammad blundered so many times, that now you have Muslim apologists trying to say that these blunders were conscious edits, right? They're calling them edits, they're calling them conscious edits because it's their way of saying, yes, it's saying something different, but it did it on purpose. It was intentional. That is basically just a gigantic coping mechanism to say Muhammad didn't know what the hell he was talking about, and he was talking about things and trying to make it seem like it was part of this glorious revelation when it was not, because there's nothing in history that even remotely aligns with the biblical events from the Quranic perspective. So I'm going to ask you one more time. Do you have any proof that the Quran has the ability and the authority to make conscious edits of the Bible? Because at this point, you continue to ask us about the New Testament and the Old Testament. Stop it. I'm not going to allow it again. My Bible can't help you. You're a Muslim. My Bible cannot help you. Does your Quran have this authority? And can you show us how it has this authority to change our Bible? That's all I'm asking you. I don't think you were ready for this conversation. You want to call back another time? Kick rocks.
Tomato.
Brother.
Other.
Kick rock. He's going. Yeah. Guys, listen. I think Grafton and I talked about this for like 3 hours the other night about why my approach with Muslims is the way that it is. I'm not trying to be a douche. I'm not. But when I ask you for an argument and then the response that you give me is an incoherent response, right? A disjointed response, right? When I ask you what is 2 + 2 and you tell me that your favorite color is red, your response does not follow, okay? If I'm telling you that the Quran has no history without the Bible, the last thing that I want you to do is try to make some unrelated point about how the New Testament is connected to the Old Testament. Now, we can have that conversation. That's a very easy conversation to have. But that's inconsequential to what this prompt is about. Let's stay on topic here, guys. And I know he was searching for an answer. Grafted even nicely tried to explain it to him. And he brought up the Bible again after I asked him to stop doing it. Muslims, my Bible cannot and will not help you. It can't help you. It can't help you. You have said that it is corrupted. You have said that the Injil is lost. You have said that any number of things, right? You said that it's not God's word. You said that Christianity is baked. You said all these other things, despite the fact that your incoherent book affirms our books several times. Stop referring to my Bible. There's no reason for you to. If your Quran is the word of God, then why the hell are you constantly going back to the Bible? Why? It doesn't make any sense. Stop. You guys, Don't even understand how badly you need us. You guys are like that ex-girlfriend that goes around telling everybody in the world how much better off they are without the ex-boyfriend, but they spend their entire life talking about the ex-boyfriend that they're supposedly better without. Don't talk about our Bible. Don't talk about Jesus. Don't talk about us. I asked him how many times. Can you show us that the Quran has some kind of history without the Bible? Well, does the New Testament connect to the Old Testament? Does it copy to the Old Testament? Are you okay? This is your mind on Islam, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Yeah, Sadi, I remember you.
Sorry?
Human Shield, what's up, brother? Are you a Muslim?
Yes.
All right, finally back on track, man. All right, brother. The Quran has no history without the Bible. Do you disagree?
The Quran has no history without a Bible. What's that even mean?
That without the Bible, the Quran would have nothing to stand on because there's nothing for the Quran to talk about if the Bible didn't exist. The Quran draws everything it draws from the Bible.
No, I'm sorry.
Okay, then tell us why you disagree.
Oh, because the message in the Quran is so clear. It's to worship the one, the only God.
Well, number one,
you don't need any other book to give the message.
Hold on. So the message.
Oh, subhanallah, subhanallah.
So the message is not only not clear, the message couldn't be more unclear, because for anybody who reads the Quran, it sounds like God is schizophrenic. To be honest with you, it's not even canonical, brother. What are you talking about? It's clear.
The message is clear.
The message
in
is
the
clear.
Quran.
So why
Very clear. I mean,
why does it get so many things wrong then?
Like what?
Like the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. Why does it get that wrong? Why does it say he wasn't crucified? And how and under what premise, what evidentiary value does it have?
And how do you know he was crucified?
Because history says so. And more,
history says so.
Mm-hmm.
So you believe in the history more than
I'm sorry.
Well,
That's
here,
just the way you said, like history is not a valid point.
No, and that's exactly the point that I'm trying to make, human, is that you're already doing what Muslims love to do all the time, right? You act like history is invalid because it's devastating to your point. Now, I understand where you're coming from. I know that you don't like to hear that.
I understand too.
But that's exactly the point that I'm making. The Quran has no history without the Bible, because Surah 4:157 says that Jesus was not crucified. Here's the problem for you. Jesus' crucifixion was already an established fact in antiquity, not only in the Bible and not only in the hundreds of eyewitnesses that contributed to the accounts of the Bible.
Weird.
No, what's very weird is that you're talking while I'm talking.
It's very weird. Why
Do I look like a female to you? Was I finished talking? No, I was speaking. When I'm finished speaking, you can speak. Okay?
Okay, so don't interrupt me when I speak, okay?
Okay, nobody's interrupting you.
Oh,
so when Surah 4:157 says that Jesus was not crucified, not only is it contradicting the Bible, but it's contradicting hostile attestations as well. It's contradicting philosophers, it's contradicting historians, it's contradicting Tacitus and Josephus and Pliny the Younger, it's contradicting ancient Jewish records, ancient Roman records, to say nothing of the fact that it's contradicting the most important source, which is the Bible. Now, my question to you then becomes, where historically do you have anything that shows that Jesus was not crucified as your Quran says?
Why it's so important to you that Jesus is crucified? Why it's so important to all the Christians that Jesus is crucified? Why? Why this obsession of crucifixion of Jesus?
It's not about obsession. It's
like all the religion in the cross. That's the religion. That's Christianity.
Yes,
is the cross.
My foolish comrade, because the crucifixion was the sign of the sacrifice that was made for the sinning man. He was sacrificed. What did I say? You want me to say it here? Let me say it slower. I know you're a Muslim. No. Here, I'll say it slower for you.
Why it's so important? Can you repeat that? Why it's so important?
What's not? And you can hear. What's wrong with you?
Shut up.
No, you shut up.
Shut up.
Ooh, damn, word for now. Far out this boy.
Yeah.
What's good?
So my question to you again is why, and again, stop trying to turn the question back on me, because I don't give a damn if you don't feel like it's important. That's not what I don't care what you think.
So you run away from my question.
My question to you, no, nobody's running away from you. No,
you do.
You are
the obsession of crucifixion. Why?
Noodle-armed Muslim, dude. Nobody would ever run from you except for your wife. So now I'm going to ask you again. Where in history does it say What manuscripts, what evidence, archaeological find do you have that agrees with the Quran's version of the crucifixion? I'll go ahead and wait.
Yeah, I want to understand
Yeah.
why so obsessed of crucifixion. Why?
You're answering
Why
the
all the
question with a
Christians
question.
are so obsessed with the cross?
Answering a question
The
with a
religion
question.
is the cross. That's Christianity. That's the Greek philosophy. It's the cross.
Go ahead.
Eric, I'd
Go
like
ahead,
to finish this up then.
Please go ahead.
You see the cross in the picture? That's Christianity.
so-
that's your obsession.
Human
Jesus is
shield is
crucified.
Okay, my Muslim
Oh,
friend.
I want to walk around the Kaaba and kiss it, and so all of my sins can be erased. Allahu
Please let me
Kaaba.
talk then.
The
Please let
Quran
me talk
doesn't
then.
say
Okay,
that.
so, okay, so
Hey, look at, he just
Don't play.
acknowledged-
I
look at-
told you. I
George,
told you. I told you. Don't play with me. Uskot and sagir tamak.
He just said the Quran doesn't say that, but you do it. You've admitted that you're walking around touching and licking a stone, despite the fact that your Quran doesn't talk about it. Here. You're too stupid for your own good, my brother. The Quran has no history without the Bible, right? Your answer earlier was about Christians being obsessed with the crucifixion. My answer to that is you are willingly trying to dodge the question, right? When we ask
Dodge,
you about yes, dodge, because the Surah 4:157 is just one of many things that the Quran gets incorrect. It's just the one that I choose when I talk about this by default, because to me, it's the most important thing that it gets incorrect. Okay. So even if you wanted to talk about any of the other references that the Quran points back to the Bible and gets incorrect, right? Let me ask you this, human, let me ask you, who was Abraham's wife?
Who was Abraham's wife? I don't want to know.
You said you don't want to know, or you don't
I don't
know.
want to know. Yeah, because those kind of
No, he
questions
doesn't
that
wanna
you
know.
want to give me the problem and then you show me the solution.
يعني ليش انت زعلان؟ شو صار؟
Can I speak with the host?
No,
You
no.
don't-
ليش انت زعلان؟
Can I
شو
ask him a
صار؟
question?
شو صار؟
Can I speak with the host?
Okay, but this is a panel. What happened? Why are you so upset?
You interrupted me.
Okay,
I
human,
want to speak with someone like well behaved.
She's
Do
asking
you mind
you
if
a
I ask my question?
Yeah, please go ahead.
So, sorry, Word. So, if he's going to be non-responsive to that first question and he says he doesn't want to know, then Human Shield, I'd like to ask you, can you tell me who the angel is that spoke with Moses?
Who's the angel who spoke to Moses?
Yes.
Who's the angel who spoke to Moses? Is it in the Quran? If it is in the Quran, I will be happy to believe it. If it's not in the Quran, why are you asking me this question? Why?
Well, the first one was also with
Why,
with
when the
regards
message
to
is
what's
so
in the
clear,
Bible.
worship the God, prostrate to Him.
Hey, Human Shield.
It's like the next question, give me the nephew of Adam.
Let's try this again.
Make a conversation
Human
make sense.
shield.
I wanna
Let's
have
try it again.
educational conversation.
Human Shield, let's try it again, Human Shield.
Brother, when we asked you one
Let's
question,
try it
you said
again.
you want to have an educational conversation.
Of course, I want to have educational conversation. Like, for example,
I asked you one question. You said, I don't want to know.
that's not educational. Let me ask you a good question. Let me ask you a good question. Do you think the Muslims and the Jews worship the same God?
Nope.
I don't want to know.
No, you don't want to know.
I don't want to know.
Don't know. This is a good question because we're talking about 2025 right now.
I don't want to know, Human Shield.
I think.
Okay.
I don't want to know.
Human Shield, I'm going to tell you what I asked.
أنا ما بدي أتعرف.
I'm going to tell you why it's an important
She's
question.
like a
Human Shield,
prostitute.
The one that I asked you.
Can you
Human Shield,
tell
I'm going to
someone?
tell you.
This is
I'm going to
disgusting.
mute you.
I feel
I'm
like
going to mute you.
if you
I'm
meet
gonna
me,
mute
I will.
So we don't call people prostitutes on this call-in show. Now, there's a reason I asked this question, Human Shield, because it is something you would want to know because it relates to Muhammad. When Muhammad was fearing for his safety and he was out of his mind after he got choked out in the cave by the spiritual entity, the people who comforted him were Waraka and his first wife, right? Waraka told him that the encounter he had was with the same angel that Moses encountered. And this was interpreted to be Jibreel, of course. Now, I think you would want to know who this angel is. So I'm gonna unmute you now, Human Shield, and I'm going to ask you,
Oh yeah.
who's the angel that spoke with Moses?
So believe it or not, when you muted me, I turned off the volume, and I swear to God, I was busy with my friend. And then when I came back,
What
I
did your
was
friend
like,
say? Wait, Human Shield, quickly, what did your friend
it's
say?
very simple. I'm having conversation with
what
4
did your
people
friend say?
against me.
Yeah, can you tell me
So
what your friend
if you
said?
cut my mic, I can leave the panel. And plus,
My friend,
And I can cut
what
you
did your
just
friend
like
say?
that. Just like that. I can cut you just like that. Oh, look at that. It's like magic.
Oh, here you
It's
go,
like
guys.
I didn't even have to turn my mic down. I didn't even What happened?
Why? I don't want to know. And the Christians,
I don't want to know.
the mean
I was
Christians
hoping
keep
he was
asking
gonna
me
try and tell
questions.
me.
And why are they so obsessed with the crucifixion?
Guys, I was hoping he was going to try and tell me what his friend said, so I could say, I don't want to know again. Oh, that's funny.
Oh my gosh, man. These people are
But no,
something else.
seriously, guys. That's actually crazy, though, that like they interpreted that angel to be Jabril, because
Right.
the angel that spoke with Moses was actually Jesus in his pre-incarnate form.
I think we have another Muslim.
We do. So why is your mind on Islam, ladies and gentlemen? Can't make this stuff up.